Mike Harris, I'm the Director of Public Policy here at Gun Owners Action League, and this is KerrieAnn and Mike.
KerrieAnn and Mike, Director of Advocacy and Women's Program.
Yes, and today we're here to talk about a not so fun topic, but it is kind of cool that we are in the new studio here.
Yes, I love this new studio.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
It's also super exciting to just have stuff that we can just plug and play and just
and get ready.
Do this.
So whatever we need, we don't have to set this all up. It's all ready for us. So
I'm gonna be able to put out like more and more content these days, which is very cool. So, but anyways, let's actually get into it. So you had written an article the other day that we're gonna put out, and I just want to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. So. I received a call actually from someone who actually is a domestic violence survivor and was very, very upset. They live in Rhode Island. They told me about the story that happened actually on July 6, 2024, Friday, in Hopkinton, Rhode Island. This poor woman by the name of Stephanie Francis, a mother of two, actually ended up losing her life. So to go back in May, her husband was arrested. He had some firearms taken away. He had a large capacity magazine taken away.
He was arrested for domestic violence.
Yep, he was arrested in May for domestic violence, and then at that time he had his firearms taken away and everything.
Right into the revolving door.
Yep, and then he got let back out on bail. So fast forward to July 6th. She was at home with her two kids, and her two kids, it gets me so upset thinking about it. Her two kids witnessed her husband killing her. And so the kids are actually the one that called 911. So
awesome. Not
only did they lose a mother and a father, because the father ended up dying as well because the police were chasing him. And now whether or not he purposely took his own life out, we're not sure. I think that's still being investigated, but needless to say, he flipped his SUV and he was dead.
Oh.
So, kids lost a mom, lost a dad, witnessed the whole tragic event. And here we are. So, which, as soon as I heard that story and I got goosebumps thinking about it, I remembered the conversation a long time ago that you brought me in, and you interviewed me regarding the two bills that Goal put in place in 2023, right?
Yeah. So, we filed them for the beginning of this legislative session.
Right.
So that was January.
All of this kind of made me think of that, and I looked into it further and realized that these bills are dead.
Yeah.
So
they're dead.
I'm really upset about it because I'm like, well, this is what we need. We need change. We need actual. We need resources to help these individuals.
Massachusetts is a tough state to get. To strengthen criminal laws in. There's a lot of talk all the time about clawing back criminal punishments and things like that, for
and not letting them back out in the street to do what just happened.
And that's another thing that Goal has been talking about forever is the lack of prosecution for certain crimes is what leads to recidivism, and also what leads to people who aren't supposed to have guns getting them. So, it's
and then it looks bad for us that are legally able to have guns.
And it falls back on us, absolutely. So the two bills are H 1527, which is an act relative to violent protection order violations. And kind of cool is it's another one of our bills is H 1776. It's kind of neat. An act relative to protecting domestic violence victims. The first bill was introduced by Sue Gifford, Representative Susan Gifford, I should say. She filed it for us. It mandates that the state provide individuals who obtain a protection order with comprehensive materials on lawful defense options, including firearms.
So what is that, like a packet that we want to be able to give individuals who file a restraining order?
Yes.
So we hand them a packet that says, hey, these are different options, because not everybody might have the suitability of having a firearm at that moment, and maybe there's another option like pepper spray or self-defense classes.
But the issue going back was that some of this information is handed over to individuals who get these orders, but the state does not want to promote firearm ownership, it seems. So that was always a conspicuous item lacking in the list of options when they were given these packets. And we just want to make sure that they're given every option, and we want to we want to put it out there that there's training and programs and stuff open for them to go and participate.
We went to one of the listening tours, and it was regarding domestic violence, and I believe you were there. And one I remember, it just dawned on me. I remember one woman stood up and said, "If I had a firearm, it would have been used against me." And we all went, we all like. No, because
it's not necessarily
having
the case.
a firearm, as a responsible gun owner, right? We train. We defensively train.
Well, training is we always say is part of being a responsible gun owner is keeping yourself proficient in the use of and control of and management of whatever firearm you're using at the time as the tool for that situation. That's kind of a big deal.
Right. Exactly.
So. With training, a lot of things are possible that wouldn't be without training.
Right, exactly. I agree.
So that's a good bill. We liked that one, but the Committee on the Judiciary sent it to a study order, which means it's dead. So bills often, usually there's three options for a bill when it gets to its end stage. It gets passed. It doesn't pass, or it will get sent to a study order, which means it's dead.
It's just dead.
And so what a committee will do is at the end of a legislative session, they'll take all the bills that they don't want to pass or that, aren't going to go anywhere.
And they throw them in this little pile called the study order?
They put them to a study order. And you can find the lists of study orders that have taken place over the last,
So that was one bill, and then what does the other bill do for
House 1776? I'll never stop saying that because it's so cool.
I love it.
An act relative to protecting domestic violence victims was filed by Rep. Alison Sullivan. She's awesome. She's one of the best. She was the one. If you had watched the hearings on the gun bill, she was the one who was at the hearing with her baby. She was supposed to be out on be out on maternity leave and was like, "Nope, I'm coming back for this."
I loved it.
So she had a baby with her. She's awesome. She's a fighter. She's a domestic violence survivor herself.
Oh wow.
Actually, yeah, she's impressive. She's an impressive lady. She's awesome. I would love to do more stuff with her, but
maybe down the road. Maybe this is what
exactly. And she's
to try to
she's
get this back up.
She's a mom. She's a little busy, but we're gonna try. I think it would be really cool to do some stuff.
So
with her.
she's the one that did this.
Yeah, so she filed this bill for us. So the proposal, it aims to provide legal protection against civil or criminal complaints for domestic violence victims who use force in defense of themselves or their children.
So out of the home kind of thing.
Yeah. So yes and no.
So duty to retreat?
No, it's not even related to that. It's more. It
takes that away.
No, it takes away. It gives them more legal protection for the use of force.
Okay.
When they're confronted in these certain situations, they're not. There'll be more of a reluctance to prosecute and things like that. So they'll be shielded from that stuff. It also proposes severe penalties for those who break into the dwellings of domestic violence victims, especially when children are present, which is a cool one. But I have a feeling that's probably part of what killed this bill. Because again, like we just talked about a second ago, there's a palpable reluctance on the Hill to increase penalties for things like this.
Which it makes no sense because then look what happened to this poor woman, So.
But they'll increase penalties for things like possessing a large capacity magazine and stuff like that whenever they want to.
Yeah,
but
that's
it is what it is. It's all it's all politics.
It's all part of it. But I think what's kind of cool also is that we ended up creating a special page, a domestic violence page, and so. I'm happy that I'm part of this program and this initiative because the page is not to promote firearms because firearms are not for everybody, but we are giving an opportunity for individuals that are domestic violence survivors or going through it currently, a place to go to find out how and what they can do to protect themselves. So we have pepper spray classes, we have refuse to be a victim classes. There's all sorts of different resources.
Information.
Information.
Just information out there. So
it's not
the website is
it's www.selfdefensefreedom.com.
Nope, selfdefenseisfreedom.com.
Is freedom.
Yeah.
Is freedom.
We'll put it up on. I'll
Yep.
put it down here.
But
I'll
it's
make sure
not.
there.
It's not a place just making sure that everybody realizes if you are currently endangered, this is not the website to go to. There is a
Right.
website to go to, and that's you can dial 988 or 1-800-799-7233. And
Yep.
again, that's 800.
That's the National Domestic Violence Hotline.
Yep.
Is that one? And
And-
then the Massachusetts Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence Hotline is 877-785-2020.
Yep. And we'll put that in the
Yeah,
link as well.
I'm going to put them, as we say them, I'll put them in the lower third. You'll
The
see those.
lower
And they'll be
third.
in the the descriptions as well.
Yep.
So we'll have all that stuff. And they'll be there at the bottom of the article you wrote. So
Yes.
that will be coming out as well. So yeah, so keep an eye out for that. We'll make sure this gets out. I don't know if it's going to go on Friday news or
what happens
what.
now? Because the bill went into study.
Yep.
So now we get to refile this
Yeah, we'll have to refile it next session. We'll make sure.
in January, right?
Yeah, I mean in January. So we have the elections coming up in November. So once the election's over and they all get sworn in and they're all standing there with their arms up, lying about
So when
protecting the
that-
Constitution.
Yeah.
They have about 2 weeks after they get sworn in, usually, to file bills before the deadline. And what that means is anything that's filed within that 2 weeks, within that period before the deadline, means that it automatically is assigned to a committee and is guaranteed
A
a
hearing.
public hearing.
So that's when, like, anybody that's
So,
listening,
yeah.
we'll drop it. We'll let everybody
Yeah,
know
we'll-
when we refile it.
And we do that every year. We do the same thing every year. We have our whole list of legislation for that session. That will
we'll
be
come
out.
back
and
in the
we'll-
studio and we
Yep.
talk about it
Yeah.
again. So
And-
there's a chance for everybody to get
We'll
involved.
walk- And I'll eventually do a video, or we can do one together, walking through the contents of those bills and kind of where they are too. So, if you want to take a look at it, if you go to goal.org, there's a link to the 2023-2024 legislation page, and there's a whole list of all of our bills
Yep.
that we filed. There's some pro Second Amendment stuff in there. There's some anti.
So it's under
stuff in there.
advocacy and legislation, 2023 to 24 legislation.
Yep, and that's our legislation chart.
Yep.
So, so everybody knows. So that hearing back in November, when they heard like 54 bills at once, that's what that was. That was them cleaning out, the gun bills
Yeah.
out of their out of the Public Safety and Homeland Security
Yep.
Committee, and just hearing them all at once. So. Those were all the bills that were filed timely and were guaranteed a hearing, and that's what that was. It was after the 4420
Oh, yes.
rigmarole, and people kind of freaked out a little bit, and we said, "Oh, wait, this is automatic. They automatically deserve these." So,
Right.
So yeah. Jinx. So yeah, this is the first one of these we've done.
I know. I'm
Jim and I
really
did
excited because
similar thing yesterday.
this is something that hit me when somebody gave me a call and was really really disturbed by it, and then I realized, well, wait a minute, what happened to the bill? And that made me kind of look further, call you right up. I'm like, what do you mean? So we need to bring these things back to the surface and and talk about it, because this is obviously a problem, not just within Rhode Island, but in Massachusetts as well. And I know
Across the country.
that we had some stats too for Massachusetts. There was, what was it? We had 19 deaths in Massachusetts.
Yeah, we had 19 domestic violence related homicides.
Yep.
And just in Massachusetts alone. And it wasn't just in Boston or just in Springfield or just in Worcester. It was, across
all
the
over the
entire
place.
state. So, it's not a city problem. It's not a country problem. It's
Right.
an everyone.
And even if,
an everyone problem.
besides that, even if it's 19, not anything regarding deaths or homicide, there are individuals that are affected by this for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
I
mean, these two kids, for God's sake, they're going to be...
I don't even imagine. And
don't even
that
know.
really, those poor kids.
Yeah.
How brave they were to call 911, knowing how to call 911, but I can't imagine the mental scarring that is going to go through their minds, because they were old
Yep.
enough. They were old enough.
to have the
understand.
if you're old enough to have the wherewithal to call 911 after something like that happens, you understood what happened.
Yeah.
So
all
right.
Again, gold.
Ugh.
You know, we mourn for Stephanie and
But
we wish her family and friends, you know, well wishes, I guess, prayers.
Yeah, but not to be craven, I guess. But just want to use this as an opportunity to just kind of point out the shortcomings in our system, or in our systems across all of our states that allow things like this to continue to happen.
Yeah,
got to do better. Yeah, we have to do better, and it's important for us to take these kinds of tragedies and turn them into a positive if we can. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I would say that was pretty good. We can
try to help.
Yeah,
we need to do better.
Thanks very much for watching.
Thank you. Until next time.
We'll see you next time. Yeah.